What's good, NFL fans? Welcome back to Triple Play Sports Talk, the home of all the latest NFL news and content. In today's video, we're going to predict some of the big and high-profile quarterbacks that most likely will have a new home next season and where they will land this offseason. If you guys are new to Triple Play Sports Talk, do me a huge favor and make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video. Also, feel free to comment down below your predictions of where you feel like these top quarterbacks will end up in. With the offseason being a reality for a lot of bottom-tier teams, Week 1 through 18 showed yet again the importance of having an elite or at least capable option at the quarterback position, as Lamar Jackson and Brock Purdy elevated their teams with their play, and in Jackson's case, preparing to walk into the ultimate regular season prize in the world of football, the league MVP. Jackson and Purdy will most likely stay in their respective franchises for the ensuing year, giving their stability at the most important position in all of sports. However, not every team is fortunate as the Ravens and 49ers. During the 2023 season, a new record was set as 79 different quarterbacks started throughout the year, whether it would be because of their quarterback got hurt, they're looking for a new home, or just didn't live up to expectations. A lot of teams will have to look outside their current roster to fill the quarterback void. Fortunately for them, there are some good and even elite options that will be made available through free agency or trade. Last year, we saw the Saints, Raiders, and Jets attempt to solve their quarterback problems by trading or signing veterans, and we all know how that went. Doesn't mean that signing or trading for a quarterback hasn't worked in the past. Tampa Bay, the LA Rams, and Denver all won Super Bowls because they went out and got themselves a proven signal caller in the offseason. We're going to look at some of the most logical destinations when it comes to predicting which quarterback is going to be where this NFL offseason. Russell Wilson, current team, the Denver Broncos. So let's get into our first quarterback, and that's going to be Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has been put through the ringer the last 2 seasons as the starting QB for the Denver Broncos, after being traded from the Seattle Seahawks for a host of draft picks. His time with the Broncos has been the epitome of a roller coaster. He's had a lot of lows and a few highs, leaving the football world guessing where he's going to play or if he's even going to play next season. The Broncos are reported to be looking to move on from Russell before the March 2024 deadline due to his unwillingness to void his injury clause found in his current contract. The 35-year-old one-time Super Bowl winner finished the 2023 season with a 66.4 completion percentage, over 3,000 yards passing, 26 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Although most would consider that a decent season, it was actually a below-average year by Russell's prime year standards, and maybe his worst since his rookie season. This and the increased tension coming from the Broncos organization prompts the Broncos to consider that their Hall of Fame quarterback could be not worth keeping, and his trade value may never be better than what it is right now if they decide to pull the trigger and trade him. Russell's soon departure has garnered speculation on where he may possibly land once he is free of the Broncos organization. Several teams have been rumored to be interested in Russell's services, such as the Atlanta Falcons, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New England Patriots, and the New York Giants. While some teams, such as the Falcons and Steelers, seem like a decent quarterback away from being serious contenders in the NFL, they aren't an exact fit for Russell's skill set as they're currently constructed. The Falcons just experienced one embarrassing season-ending loss to the Saints, resulting in them firing their head coach Arthur Smith within the first 2 minutes of the offseason. And the Steelers need to add more wide receivers on the outside in order not to put Russell in the same situation he was in Denver. The New York Giants and the New England Patriots are essentially in a rebuilding mode, and adding a competent QB to their roster wouldn't change their current trajectory, possibly for the next 2 years. So you might be asking the question, if Russell isn't a good fit for any of these teams, will he play next season? I'm glad you asked that question. The answer is yes. Russell will not only play next season, but he'll be a starter. During the 2024 season, we're predicting Russell Wilson will not only remain in the AFC West division, but he will play for none other than the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are the perfect team for Russell for 3 reasons. 1, they have a top 5 receiver in Devontae Adams, but they also have the flexibility to draft or sign a reliable number 2 option. The second reason, they have a more than competent defense that can hold teams to below their season highs routinely. The third reason, this team is 1 decent or average QB away from being a serious contender next season. And at this point, an average Russell Wilson season is more than enough to make the Raiders a legitimate Super Bowl contender, or at worst, an AFC team to watch next season. Zach Wilson, current team, the New York Jets. Next, let's talk about Zach Wilson. The Jets will be in need of a serviceable backup quarterback for the 2024 season if they miss out on Rodgers due to an injury again. Considering the more than disappointing stint Wilson has been subject to over the past 3 seasons as the Jets on-again, off-again starting quarterback, actually to call his stint with the Jets disappointing might be an understatement. Not only has he been unpredictably inaccurate with his passes, he's never completed over 60% in any of his 3 seasons. He has thrown 23 picks in only 34 games played, but he's also been sacked a whopping 113 times over the same seasons. So calling his stint with the Jets disappointing is definitely an understatement. These consistent poor performances have garnered repeated ridicule from the New York media, fans, and at times his own teammates. The Jets also failed him in some regards in terms of development, but the bottom line is Wilson just needs a change of scenery to become a true backup quarterback and have time to develop into the quarterback many believed he would be coming out of BYU. If the Jets do decide to move on from Wilson this offseason, it'll either be through a trade or they'll flat out just cut him from the team. Due to his current rep in the league, he may not have many suitors, but we're predicting that Zach Wilson will be moving out west for the 2024 season, specifically to the NFC West to become the backup quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers for one reason only: Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan has enough proof through his past coaching gigs to be considered a QB guru. He may be the perfect coach to fix some of the pocket presence and accuracy issues Wilson has so far in his career. This would be the perfect situation for Wilson to fall into because there is no immediate need for him to start right away because of Brock Purdy. But also, if he was to be thrown into action surprisingly, he won't be asked to be anything but a bare minimum quarterback because of all the targets that 49ers offense is surrounded with. Kirk Cousin. Current team, the Minnesota Vikings. So up next on our list is Kirk Cousin, the man the Vikings have called their consistent starting QB for the last 6 seasons. He is set to be a free agent this offseason after coming off a season-ending right Achilles injury that prematurely ended his 2023 season. Before the injury, Cousins led the Vikings to a 4-4 record in 8 games, threw for 2,331 yards with 18 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. On the open free agent market, Kirk would be a sought-after talent for a number of teams looking for stability at the QB position. Some of the biggest noise that's been reported by news outlets on the next potential destination for Kirk has been to the Atlanta Falcons because of their need for a said stable QB play. Now he would definitely be more than a serviceable and clear upgrade from the QB carousel that has been going on in Atlanta for the whole season, as they have switched from Desmond Ridder to Taylor Heineke more than twice this season. So they definitely could use his help, but he may cost more than they're willing to pay for the 11-year vet services. With an abundance of open QB positions set to take shape this offseason, he will probably be in the range of a 4 to 5 year contract for between $100 to $120 million over that span. With so many suitors in desperate need of a QB with Kirk's level of experience and stability, where will he end up at the start of the 2024 season? We're predicting that Kirk Cousins will either take his talents to the AFC North as a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, or he will again don the Vikings purple. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be a perfect and stable organization for Kirk to join, since they have the defensive and offensive potential to regain their footing as a top team in the AFC. Kirk has consistently shown his ability to properly feed his number 1 option as well as second and third option. George Pickens and company will be very happy with the upgrade and the number of targets they will see in 2024. On the flip side, the Vikings could very likely bring him back to continue the continuity the Kirk, Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Addison trio have developed during Kirk's 8-game stretch of playing this season. The only realistic option the Vikings have if they decide to let Kirk walk in free agency is to draft a young QB in this year's draft. The only problem with that is they currently sit number 12 in the draft, with 7 teams ahead of them with the potential to select a QB with their first round picks. Unless they decide to trade up, they'll miss out on talents like Caleb Williams, Drake Mays, Jaden Daniels, or Michael Penix Jr. So the likely choice for the Vikings would be to re-sign Kirk for the short term and maybe trade him if the team becomes stagnant. Justin Fields, current team, Chicago Bears. So last on our list is Justin Fields, the first-round quarterback drafted to the Chicago Bears over 3 years ago. Fields' stint with the Bears has been astronomically better than the other former number 2 pick for the Bears that goes by the name of Mitch Trubisky. He's been on a similar roller coaster stint as Russell Wilson's time with the Denver Broncos. He's had a lot of lows and highs, leaving the football world guessing whether he has finally turned the corner in his career and figured out his style of quarterbacking. His steady improvement through his 3 seasons has left the Bears with quite a difficult situation to navigate for a number of reasons. The Bears is currently constructed or on the back end of their rebuilding plan with a ton of draft capital and one good offseason away from being serious contenders to taking the NFC North title away from the Detroit Lions. Many analysts believe that the addition of a real number 2 receiver to go along with DJ Moore and a possible change at QB could put them over the top. The 2 problems that arise for the Bears will possibly change the QBs is they risk losing the locker room, and the new draft QB may not be a significant improvement. Many prominent Bears players have come out in support of Justin Fields and believe he's the right QB for what the Bears are building in the Windy City. The belief from his teammates and in himself has helped him have one of his best passing seasons of his short career. So far, with 2,414 passing yards, 16 touchdowns to 9 interception ratio, as well as 4 rushing touchdowns. On the flip side, the Bears could bypass this improvement and decide to trade him to a number of willing teams eager to find a multi-dimensional QB such as Fields. One team that has consistently been named in trade discussions are the Atlanta Falcons, who are in desperate need of a QB and have linked to a couple of QBs on this list. Fields to Atlanta has a high likelihood of coming true because of this potential as a dynamic playmaker and being a homegrown product of Georgia, which could be a perfect match. The Falcons have the draft capital to make this trade happen, but will it happen this offseason? We're predicting that not only will Justin Fields not be traded to the Falcons, but he will stay put with the Chicago Bears. We believe the Bears will avoid drafting QB with their first pick and grab either wide receiver or trade back to gain draft capital from some team desperate for an impactful QB play. So this closes out our video, where we predicted some of the big and high-profile quarterbacks that most likely will have a new home next season, where they will land this offseason, or whether they're resigning with their teams. Let us know your thoughts down below in the comments section, where you feel like these quarterbacks will end up. And we love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and also consider hitting that like button if you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.